Well, happy Palm Sunday. Thank you. Appreciate that. That was nice. Let's try it again. Happy Palm Sunday. Thank you. Gosh, God, I didn't even have to prompt you. Thank you. But it's kind of a weird Palm Sunday, isn't it? Kind of fits the year. It's been a weird and hard year. And I was walking through a neighborhood in St. Augustine last week. We were visiting our son, and walking through this neighborhood, just feeling the hardness of the year. Just heavy. And my dog and I just kept walking, and we're walking, and then all of a sudden we came across a sign that was in the front yard of somebody's house. And the sign read this: "Thank you to everyone helping anyone." Thank you to everyone helping anyone. Man, just reading and hearing myself say that just makes me feel good. Because it reminds me that there are people in our country, people in the world, people right here in Knoxville, people in St. Augustine, helping somebody. So not only does it make me feel good, I think that the sign, "Thank you to everyone helping anyone," is the ideal statement and the ideal way to celebrate Palm Sunday. It's the ideal way to celebrate Palm Sunday. At least it is for me. And this is why. Because we could say a ton about this passage that we just read, and a ton about Palm Sunday, and a lot's been said. But one basic thing keeps returning to my mind over and over and over again. And that's this: as Jesus rides in on that colt, on that donkey, whatever it was, he brings with him the hope of a better life. The hope of life, a life that is lived better. A better life for all people, no exceptions, everyone. And at the center, or at least close to the center of this life that Jesus brings, is the willingness to help others. Is the willingness to step outside of ourselves and help in whatever way we can, in whatever way we're able. You see, what I'm trying to say is helping others is one powerful way that our tradition says will make your life better. Your life is better if you help others. And the only way to know it for yourself, you know the only way to know it for yourself? Do it. Try it out. So, one person that I think of a lot when I think of helping others is this guy named Greg Boyle. Have any of you guys heard of Greg Boyle? A few nods, cool. Well, he's just in case you don't know who he is, he's a Jesuit priest, and he serves former gang members in South Central Los Angeles. And he gets them jobs, and he helps them to turn their life around. And for me, I think he's a great example of someone helping others, because he remembers that just because he's helping somebody, he's not the only one, they're not the only one benefiting. He's benefiting too. So when people say to him, "How do you feel since you've saved these kids from their lives?" He says, "I didn't save anybody. They helped me." And that's the way this help thing goes. It's reciprocal. The one doing the helping and the one receiving the helping both engage in better life, a better life. And he also has a bunch of stories about this. And here's one. So one night, this guy, Greg, and two former rival gang members, these two guys who used to want to kill each other, all three of them are headed, and I know it's from LA, but I think it's to Sacramento, and they're going to do a talk. They're going to speak about their work of helping current gang members try to get out of that life and into a new life. So on the way up there, they decide that they need something to eat. So Greg pulls over in this little town to the only restaurant really that's in the town. And this restaurant is, just so you get a picture in your own mind, it's kind of like a mix between Applebee's and Denny's. Okay, you got that in your mind? So they park, and they're walking up to this place, and one of the former gang members, Greg's friends now, one of them says to him, oh, man, I don't know about this place. This looks like a fancy place. It looks like one of those places where they have silverware, and they serve food on a plate. You see, these two guys don't go out to eat much. And when they do, it's always fast food that never has silverware and never has plates. So Greg can see how nervous this is making them. This is a new experience for them, and they're afraid. And so he says to them, it's okay, it's going to be all right. We'll just go in, we'll eat, and we'll leave. Now, inside the restaurant, what I imagine is it's filled with people, and it is filled with people. And all the people live in the same small town where the restaurant is. And all the people inside the restaurant know each other. And so inside the restaurant, I think it's either Lawrence Welk or Pat Boone is playing over the speakers. Right, you got the picture? But there's also this just lovely conversation going on, that happens when people know each other. And they're chatting and they're talking, and then the front door opens, and you ever see one of those movies where the music stops? Well, that's what happened, metaphorically. The music stops. And they just turn and stare, and there's Greg, who's got gray hair and a beard. He looks Santa Claus-ish. And then these two Hispanic men, former gang members, and they're standing at the front door, and they just walk in. And everybody, their head swivels, and they just stare. Now, they stare not because they're bad people. They're good people. They stare because they've never seen so many tattoos in their life. And they don't know what to do with it. So they're afraid. So they stare. Meanwhile, the young guys are now more afraid than they were before they walked in. They see them all staring at them, and they say, Greg, we need to go. We are not welcome here. But Greg, there's nowhere else to go, he tells them. There's nowhere else to eat, so it's going to be fine. We'll just sit down, have our meal, and we'll go. Well, the hostess doesn't really want him to come in. She's not real welcoming. And she says to him, I don't think there's room here for you. And Greg looks around, and it is pretty full, but he sees one table that's empty, and he says, what about that table? So she begrudgingly, reluctantly takes them over to the table, sets down their menus, and walks away. Once again, everybody's looking at us, they say to Greg. Everybody's staring at us. We are not welcome here. Let's go. So then their waitress comes over. And their waitress is like the queen of the restaurant. She's got the uniform, she's got the apron. I'm pretty sure she's got a beehive haircut. She fits right in. She's snapping her fingers to Pat Boone. I love that. Anyway, she's into Pat Boone. So she walks over and she's staring at him. Just staring at him. And then she breaks into this big smile. And she goes, I am so happy you guys are here tonight. Welcome. And then from that point on, it's honey this and sugar that and baby what can I get you? On and on and on it goes as she serves these people. And the more friendly she is, the more kind she is to them, the less scared they are. And the whole tension in the room, for them anyway, just melts away. And they say, God, oh my God, isn't she great? She gets us refills and we don't even have to ask. And she treats us like we are somebody. They no longer feel out of place. They feel like this is their place because of her. She helped them to feel like they belonged. You see, and all it took was just a little kindness. Just a little kindness. But Greg says she was like Jesus in a beehive. You see, Jesus bridges the gap between people, and he especially bridges the gap between people who think they're so different. And he invites you and I to do the same thing. Greg Boyle puts it this way. It's like this. Every moment is an invitation to recognize that we are all interconnected. Every moment is an invitation to recognize that we are all interconnected. You are the other me, and I am the other you. And so is everyone else. So happy Palm Sunday. Thank you to everyone helping anyone. So who will you help today? Amen.